Welcome back to the Sideline Vision for the first show of 2026 and our first in almost 2 months. I must start off and say we lost a valued member of our community, Ty Wellemeyer. He's in a much worse place now, Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah.
He graduated early, just specifically to leave me behind. So it's tough, it's tough to see a good one go, but he's on to bigger and better things in a worse place. Evansville, Indiana is a bad place.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't compare. I was going to say you could compare it to Aaron Darnold, leaving the Rams, but
stepping away at his peak.
Yeah, stepping away, it's kind of like Seinfeld, they let the
went out
show
on top.
Yeah, exactly. Went on top.
I haven't seen too much of Seinfeld, but it's cool. Jerry Seinfeld is the worst part of the show. I'll say that. We're going to get into it. I'm going to have restart with men's basketball. Because it's been so long, we're just going to do a more broad strokes recap of everything that's happened, update on standings, things like that. So Reece, take it away.
All right. So only 2 losses from the winter break. We lost to Indiana State in an overtime loss, very close game, 81-80. And then Southern Illinois, we also lost 68-67 at home on January.
To how much?
To 68-67.
Okay.
It's 2026. Are we still doing this?
I am.
New year, same Nick.
It's been the case for the last 21 years and counting.
Well, where do I want to even go from that? Well, men's basketball is one thing that I've liked seeing, especially at these recent games, the one where we're back on campus for, is that, well, I guess not back on campus, but, these past 2 games with Valparaiso and who did they just play? And Valparaiso and Southern Illinois, we've been seeing a lot more playing time out of our freshman roster and kind of seeing what they can do on the court. I mean, Owen Dillon was named MVC Freshman of the Week this week, and he scored 18 points against Southern Illinois. Very impressive performance by him. Jabez Jenkins against Valparaiso, that might be one of his best games the whole season.
For sure.
And that was a game where our freshmen were leading and beating Tyler Lundblade. Like, he only had 8 points that game, and you're seeing Owen Dillon, Jack Smiley, you're seeing Jabez Jenkins, just this new front of Bruins players kind of showing up, saying like, hey, we're a part of this team just as much as you guys are. And I'm excited to see how Coach Alexander kind of integrates some more in the way that he's been with these past 2 games.
Yeah, and I owe this team an apology. First off, I owe a personal apology to Owen Dillon, whose name I pronounced Ian a while back now. I mean, this is almost 2 months, but it's been eating at me because I haven't been able to come on and correct the record. So it is Owen. Yes, it does start with an E and have an I and then an O. So, one may think that it's Ian, but it's Owen. And then really, the team as a whole has been much more impressive than I thought. I feel like there's less of I feel like some of the better Belmont rosters of the past few years have been very top heavy. And I feel like this is, like you mentioned, like a lot of the freshmen are getting minutes and they're all producing.
Yeah, I like what you said about the depth because they're playing a really solid 1-8 game a lot of the time. Talking about the 2 freshmen, Jack Smiley, he's from Valparaiso, had a really good game against Valparaiso. And then Owen Dillon from Peoria, Illinois, which is where Richard Pryor's from.
Peoria?
Close
Peoria.
enough. Peoria.
There you go.
That's where Richard Pryor's from.
Close enough.
I know that much about it. I can't say it. I saw him at the campus Chick-fil-A the other day. He is very tall.
Oh, I thought you meant Richard Pryor.
Yeah,
I
Richard
think he's
Pryor.
Richard
Very
Pryor.
well dead.
I think he's
very
been
well
dead
dead
for quite a while now.
But Owen Dillon, very tall guy, and he's been playing really well. Right now, they're still without Nick McLean.
Yeah.
Is that right? That's a huge loss right there. Just nothing more than the ball distribution that he does. Just getting all these guys, like we were saying, there's so much depth. Well, he's the one who gets them all touches.
Yeah, he's if team player was a definition, I feel like Nick McLean would fit that definition.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the least selfless guys out there. He's a guy that could.
Sorry, just had to correct that. Least selfless means that he's a ball hog.
Least selfish player out there. There it is. Just really, he could fill out the stat sheet if he wanted to, but much rather get everybody touches, get everybody going. Really miss him on the sidelines. For sure.
We're going to keep it with you, Sam, now switching over to women's basketball.
Well, women's basketball since our last episode, they've gone 8-4 and 7-1 in conference. They're just 11-8 overall, so they've really struggled in the non-conference play. They're 4-7 in conference play, and their 6 of their 7 losses have been by double digits. But in conference play,
how many?
6 of 7. That's the second one. But in conference play, they won their first 7 conference games, and then the MVC ranks their top 5 in points per game, opponent points per game, point differential, free throw percentage, and assists, top 3 in 3-point percentage and assist turnover ratio, and leads the MVC in turnovers, forced turnovers, turnover margin, steals, and blocks. So they've got a lot going for them right now. They're averaging to win every conference game by at least 8 points, and they were number 1 in the MVC for a while until they ran into Murray State.
Yeah.
And Murray State, I mean, beat them as bad as they've been beat all season. Like, it was just, from the get-go, just not competitive. They were outscored in every single quarter.
Except for the paint. The Belmont was more dominant in the paint in that game, but, I mean, all the turnovers in that game, what was it, 10 points for the 15 forced turnovers that Belmont made, and then the 21 points Murray State made from their
14 turnovers, yeah.
And then,
It was a demoralizing game.
Yeah,
I was really excited to see how that would play out because this is a bold statement. I think Murray State's the only thing between this team and the tournament.
Yeah,
I agree.
If Belmont is playing well, I think Murray State's the only team that can beat Belmont while they're playing well.
Yeah. Hillary Fuller had a great game. She scored almost half the points. She had 22 points that game.
She had 45% of the points on 50% shooting, which is great because she had a couple slow games.
Of duds, especially against Northern Iowa. That game was really...
I've got it down here. Who's
got more numbers than this guy? You know?
She scored in double digits 9 of her last 11 games. The 2 games she did not score double digits on were against UNI and Indiana State, back-to-back games, 17 combined points on 5 of 26 shooting. And she's just so good around the rim. Like, some of those were just like, it just wasn't her night. She was just in a bit of a sluggish start, and she got out of it against Murray State. She let some frustration out in that game, and I think going forward, Belmont sees the gap between them and Murray State, and thus the gap between them and if you want to play in the big tournament in March, this is where you need to be. But on the flip side, I mean, Murray State averages 80 points per game. They averaged to beat their opponents by 10 points per game, and Belmont held them 15 points below their season average, held them just 69. I think once Belmont gets back to full strength, because I've got this mentioned later, Kinsley Feltner, Emily LaChapelle, and Jalen Banks, 3 players that played in every single game last season. Feltner has missed every game since November 19th. LaChapelle has missed every game since November 29th. Banks is our leading scorer, missed a month between December 3rd and January 2nd. She's been out since January 9th. So those are 3 huge contributors that you're just getting nothing from right now. So I think if they can come back before the late season push, different story. But right now, I think the big takeaway is it's Murray State and Belmont in the field. I think these 2 teams have pulled themselves away from the rest of the MVC. And here in 2 weeks when they play again here at the Curb, I think that's going to be a pivotal matchup.
Yeah. And you mentioned, 7-1 in the conference for, you talk about playing at your level. That's your level. And you're beating most of them and really just one dud, which kind of, I don't want to say felt like a fluke, but it was certainly not.
This team is not going to score less than 50 points often.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not going to happen. Like a 69-48 game, that's just not going to happen. So I don't think, like you said, I don't think it's really a fluke, but I think it's something that could be written off as we didn't have it from the tip.
Yeah.
We didn't have it from the tip. We saw Hillary Fuller take over the game. If we can get her a little bit more help in a game like this, maybe it goes different at our play. I
also wanted to mention that's the conference schedule. The non-conference was loaded.
Absolutely.
Mark Brooks made sure that they played Kentucky, they played Ohio State, they played Duke, like
Princeton, McNeese State, a lot of really good teams.
And hung in against most of them, and obviously won some non-conference games. So all in all, I think it's promising. And I was a little disheartened by the start of the season, just seeing those losses, especially because some of them felt like they were in control and then got away. But at the end of the day, you got to like the position you're in.
They went 4-7 non-conference, lost 6 of them by double digits. You see that and you're like, that's terrible. They were only outscored by 45 points in those 11 games.
Yeah.
So that's
4 a game.
That's not terrible. I mean, they blew out some teams that they should have blown out. Lipscomb especially, Brown especially. Just really, they were playing a touch above the pedigree, I think, against like that Duke game just was not competitive. They were really, really good team. So I think showing them what talent is out there and then seeing how they've taken on the challenge of the talent in MVC, I think they're in a good spot right now.
I agree.
I just did want to add, I want to add one more thing is that I think Northern Iowa, you're talking about, Hillary Fuller not having a great game, but you know who did have a great game against Northern Iowa?
Sanaa Tripp.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The mask game, absolutely. 25 points. She only missed 2 shots, hit like 5 3-pointers, I think.
I remember me and you were texting each other, just every shot we were like, I'm like, that's 3 for 4 right now, right? Because I'm doing the social media stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, I felt almost bad because like the whole time I was just posting Sanaa Tripp with another 3. That was like, it got repetitive. That's how good she was that game.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but Reece texted me like right before the start, and he's like, "We have a Sanaa Tripp thing for the socials, right?" I was like, "Yeah, we should." And then I looked at the box score after the game. I was like, "Oh yeah, we definitely did need that one today." She had a huge game, a lot of good performances, but I don't want to load too much on basketball. That being said, some of these other results, not going to go too heavy on. Starting with track, they participated in the Commodore Winter Challenge. This was December 6th. That was so long ago. We're just going to move past it. They then went to the Vanderbilt Invitational. Now, I do have to mention, there was the Vanderbilt Invitational, and there was also the Commodore Winter Challenge. 2 different things. Both hosted by Vanderbilt. I don't know. I don't get it. But all in all, for the Invitational, that was more recent, pretty decent weekend. Freshman Sophie Nichols on the women's team finished 12th out of 65 in the women's mile. In the 800, Bella Dormier finished 23rd out of 51. A 15th place finish overall for the 4x400 for the Bruins. And then on the men's side, we had freshman Aaron Richter make his debut. He finished 21st out of 53 in the 800 meter. 2 Bruins were in the top 10 of the pole vault, being Jack Perry and freshman Gabe Heck. Sophomore Kyle Garrett started off with a 3rd place finish in the men's shot put. So overall, just some solid performances, but I will say for tennis, a weekend to forget. On the 16th, men's tennis played Portland, went 0-7. The next day at Washington, 1-7. And then the women's team also on the 17th, granted against number 18 Vanderbilt, 0-7. So, a less than ideal weekend, you could say, overall for track and tennis. And I will cut ahead, actually. We're going to go back to basketball, but I'm going to stick with me because I want to. So men's tennis coming up. They play versus Austin P Friday, versus Chattanooga on Saturday, and then at MTSU on Sunday. So kind of keeping it pretty close to home.
Keeping it localish.
And then women's tennis has a match against versus UAB on Saturday. And then for track on the 23rd and 24th, which is Friday and Saturday, they participate in the Crossroads of America invite in Indianapolis, which is the most backhanded nickname for a city I've seen. I've seen it a lot, and it's like, yeah, everyone walks over us to get somewhere else. That's what the Crossroads of America is. But regardless, let's go back to looking ahead at men's basketball.
All right, so men's basketball next game is against Illinois State. I feel like that's a game that's very much in Belmont's hands. It's a very close matchup, though. They're very close to each other in MVC standings. I think Illinois State is 5-3 in the MVC standings currently, so not too far behind Belmont. But from the last game that I'm looking at, even though it was last year and there were different rosters, the thing that strikes out to me the most is that Belmont just spread the ball out way more than Illinois State. The last time we had 6 players hit double digits that game, well, Illinois State only had 2. And I think that's very Belmont Bruins coded, is for us to spread out a lot of our players and their points and their stats. And not really give it to one person too much, which is a good strategy against Illinois State, who I think if you can just get past the two guys, like I think was it Dalton Banks is a big guy on Illinois State, but I think that's a game that Belmont, I don't know if it's that they should win, but I guess they should win that game.
Yeah, and I don't think Illinois State has had some of the performances that Belmont has had, even though being relatively close in record. I think overall Belmont's been the more impressive team. Sam, what are the women looking at this week?
Well, let's see. Saturday, they're at home at 4 o'clock against Southern Illinois. Southern Illinois, they're 5-12 on the year and 2-6 in MVC play. They lost to the Bruins already, 68-56 at their place. Should be a win. Should be a great bounce back from that Murray State game. Take something that you learned from that and then go take it out on some lesser opponents. And a couple players to watch. Avery Strickland dropped a career-high 22 points in their last game. Hillary Fuller added 17. Strickland has double figures in 5 of her last 7, and Fuller has double digits in 9 of her last 11. These are two players that are really going to have to score it with a little bit more volume than they would if this team was at full strength, like we mentioned earlier. I don't see much of a problem with Southern Illinois. I think it's, I don't want to say it's a cakewalk, but I think it, at the curb, should take care of business.
For sure. This takes us to the last segment where we talk about whatever we want. And starting off, we're just going to briefly go over the Natty National Championship. I mean, not to say that I'm like a genius, but it went pretty much exactly how I thought it would.
Yeah, it helps when your whole team has 8 years of experience in college football.
Somebody is not a fan, but he also roots for UMass, so...
I do not. No, I don't want pain and suffering. I'm a spectator, purely a spectator.
Well, either which way...
Another hypothetical win for Notre Dame, though.
Yeah, well, of course, naturally. And the SEC while we're at it, but...
I loved Marcus Freeman having to sit there and watch Indiana win national championship. What Pat McAfee turned to him, he's like, "That's the best team in the state of Indiana,"
and he's right.
I mean,
not best team in the world.
I saw somebody post Notre Dame would beat both these teams, and then somebody commented, it's like, the reason Notre Dame's not in is because Miami already beat Notre Dame.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hate to admit this. I've warmed up a little bit to the 12-team playoff in the current age, because I think the fact that last year's matchup was 3 versus 8 or something, and then this year we had a 10 seed in. I mean, I think we're seeing more of a spread of talent than we ever have before, and there's less and less of a clear top dog. Now, obviously, number 1 seed Indiana won it all, so there was a top dog this year, but
I think it should just be the real top 12 teams. Quit playing around and letting the little teams in. Let's play 12 teams.
What's Tulane doing in there? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I appreciate showing love to the little conferences.
It's cute, but I mean, it was a wash of a weekend. That was just an extra weekend of bad football. If you like the 12 teams, let's do 12 real teams, or let's do 8 real teams. Or I would like 8.
Completely undo the stupid realignment we just did. Bring back Pac-12, make the Big 12 what it was. That's my vote.
Well, that's a great idea. I wonder who should take notes on that.
Wonder who should completely undo everything they just did. So now, for our last topic, we're going to talk about the NFL Conference Championships games. Ava Burns, who's producing, her Bears lost in a truly embarrassing, it's just miserable fashion.
Imagine losing at home to a team that plays indoors.
Yeah, I mean, come on. In LA, warm weather.
I really don't like you right now.
So, the 2 games we have, NFC Championship, are the Rams, who did beat the Bears, versus the Seahawks. And then on the AFC side, it's Reese's beloved New England Patriots traveling to Mile High to take on the Denver Broncos. Let's start with that one. Reece, I have an idea of who you're going to pick, but you're going to say something dumb, and I'm going to dunk on it, and then you're going to be like, yeah. So go ahead. Who do you have?
Whatever team Drake May's on.
Okay. And then you're going to say, and I'm going to say it for you because I can tell you want to, you're just not. You're going to say, well, the Patriots have troubles with backup quarterbacks in the playoffs. And I'm going to say it's Jarrett Stidham. And you're going to say, Jared Stidham's really cool and good, and he was an expat, which means
He
something.
was under
that-
Tom Brady for a minute. I remember Tom Brady actually got mad at him for one game. I think we were playing the Jets and we were smoking the Jets, and Jared Stidham got in for like one snap and threw a pick six, and Tom Brady was like actually like livid. Like I've seen him get mad, but like, oh my gosh, that's like yelling at a baby. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't. Come on, Tom.
Poor little Jared Stidham.
Yeah, poor little Jared Stidham.
I'm also picking the Pats. I just feel like you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a team, and it's a shame. And frankly, I think it could stay close.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for me too, because this entire season has been the Patriots have an easy schedule, which I'm willing to admit, yeah, we do. But also, what do you want us to do? Lose the easy games?
Yeah,
like we're doing exactly what we want to do. So like. With the Broncos, it was like, oh, Bo Nix, the also other easy schedule team in the AFC. But it would have been a more interesting matchup. I'm not really scared of Mile High. Me and my dad were going back and forth texting, like, do we want the Bills to win so we can get home field advantage? I'm like, I don't think it matters that much. Buffalo's beat us at home already. I'd rather us take it to Mile High against the Broncos because we've played the same opponents as the Broncos this season, and we've been beating our opponents with a bigger deficit than they have. I mean, they played the Jets. It was like 16-11 that they play them. That's just like, you shouldn't be scraping by the New York Jets. And the Patriots, put belt to it, and then against the Jets and similar opponents, it would have been nice to have a Bo Nix Drake May matchup, but stars don't align, and I think we can get it done Mile High.
I'll say also the performance with as many turnovers as there were in fumbles, the performance of the Texans defense still gives me confidence in the Patriots against the Broncos defense.
Our defense also wasn't like they were really good that game too,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people gloss over that because the entirety of ESPN chose the Texans to win it because of their defense.
Don't run the fake underdog gimmick, dude.
No, we're not underdogs. I'm just saying everyone's against us. I'm a Patriots fan. I've dealt with that my entire life, so I get it. Rex Ryan, I get why he doesn't want to root for the Patriots because he's been a Buffalo Bills head coach and Jets head coach, but you know what? That's all right. Anyways, let's take it to the NFC Championship game.
Let Sam pick first.
Oh, wait. Right.
I will say I have never and will never respect anybody that's witnessed their team win a championship. And that applies to both of you. So, sorry.
Yeah.
Next episode's going to be just me because I just can't deal with this anymore. I can't deal with Reece talking about how hard he has it.
I mean, what's there to say? I mean, like, Jarrett Stidham isn't at quarterback. Like, that's terrible.
Had a good preseason.
Sure. I mean, it is what it is. I think it was a really good game between the Broncos and the Bills. I think that was a fun one to watch. So I guess that, and the Patriots and the Texans, that was a good game. So I guess that if the AFC game gets ugly, like at least we had a pretty good divisional round, and I think some decent wild card games. I think that the Broncos have a good defense, and I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park, especially with them having home field advantage. I do think the Patriots are going to win. But more than that, I'm just excited that the Patriots and the Broncos are playing each other in the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Like, it brings back fun memories of old times.
2016 all over.
Yeah,
I know.
right? With the 2016 trend.
Yeah,
Like,
it
it's
is what it
literally,
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's going to be like a 26-15 Pats. I'm seeing a weird score. I'm seeing kind of ugly play, but overall, Pats just doing
I think 24-13 Pats.
I'll go 10. Oh, 2010 Pats. Yeah.
Now, flipping over to the NFC, Rams going to not CenturyLink Field, Lumen Field Stadium, whatever they call it these days. Very notoriously hard place to play in. I'll start with Sam since we ended with you last time. Who do you have in that game?
Well, I think a big X factor nobody's talking about is Jimmy Garoppolo. Only two quarterbacks have been to more conference titles than Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean,
That's true.
I think if Matt Stafford gets a little rattled, I think he needs to go to big game Jimmy G and like, hey, this is what you got to do. Other than that, the Rams, I really like the Rams because I like Matthew Stafford. I think they're a really good offensive team. I think that their defense makes them stay in games that they shouldn't stay in when they're really lighting up the scoreboard. Like there's a lot of games that I feel like the Rams would lose if they score 35 points. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of the NFC West. I know the Seahawks are like legit. Like they beat down on the 49ers, and I just think it's tough to play there with the Seattle's 12th man. It's a really tough place to play. Sam Darnold is, I mean, like, what's going on with the oblique? Like, there's just like a little bit fuzzy there about like his health and how into it he can be. I think that the Seahawks surround him with better talent than the Rams do. Like, if he has to come out, I think that Seattle's defense is good enough that they could maybe stave off the Rams. I don't know. I think Seattle probably wins something like 31-24, something like that.
It's fair.
Sorry, did you just say that you think that the Seahawks surround Darnold with better talent than the
Not
Rams?
offensively,
Okay,
but like as a
okay.
as a roster.
Okay, yeah.
The Rams have one of the most
Yeah.
potent offenses in the league, and I get that. Nakua, Adams, Kyron Williams, the running back, and just an insanely good play caller in Sean McVay. And I mean, Stafford's playing like an MVP candidate. I just think, I mean, they gave the Seahawks a scare. What was that, a Monday night football game, Thursday night football game? It was prime time. I think it was at Seattle too.
And only pulled it off on the weirdest 2-point conversion ever.
So weird. So I mean, that's a fluky game. I will say, I just think Seattle has too many weird advantages, like Rashid Shaheed taking the kickback for a touchdown. Just like special teams, I think they got a better defense, and I really think the crowd's going to play a lot into it. If it turns into like a gunslinger, like QB versus QB, give me Stafford. I think based on that we're playing in Seattle, based on that I think Seattle is a little bit better of a roster, I think Seattle pulls it out.
Reece, how about you?
I mean, I'm just going to go off the bat here, and I think Seattle's going to win it. I mean, you go to the Rams' last games of this season, and especially against, the Panthers in the playoffs, they've struggled against teams they shouldn't be struggling against. And I think Mike McDonald, probably one of the best, defensive masterminds we have seen in the modern era of the NFL. And I don't know if that's an overstatement, but just what he's done to that franchise in just a year is insane. It's night and day between this season and last season.
2 years.
2 years, sorry. But
they were decent last year. They just didn't have Darnold yet. They didn't really. They were still.
They had Geno Smith.
Yeah,
out there,
Geno
and
Smith.
They went as far as Geno Smith could take him.
If it was between like a Bear and Geno Smith to hold my baby, I'd give my baby to the Bear because Geno Smith would drop it. But yeah, I would have to go Seahawks. Just what they did against the 49ers, like you said, just that I watched that with my buddy who's a Seahawks fan, my buddy who's a 49ers fan, and that opening kickoff was like, that basically described the whole game in the first play. And
it was kind of like the Super Bowl that they won over the Broncos with the weird safety going over Peyton's head. Like
I know exactly how it's going to go.
It's over.
Yeah. I think it is going to be a close game, like you said. I mean, that just seems to be how most Seahawks-Rams games go anyways. You're like, oh, the Seahawks are the better team. It's Rams, whatever it is. It's going to be close. I'd probably say they get to the 30s. I would say, like, I don't know, maybe 30-27.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got the Rams. Sorry to ruin the continuity. The Rams were my Super Bowl pick heading in. You mentioned the Panthers game. The Panthers already beat them in the regular season. I think that I'm happy to chalk that up to a fluky matchup. I believe they lost to the Falcons already. A couple just weird games, but I never felt like it was. I just felt like they had an off day, which granted could happen in a big stage on the road against a tough opponent. But overall, I have a lot of faith in this offense. You mentioned Mike McDonald. I would counter with Sean McVay. That's a premier matchup. But overall, I just have a lot of faith in this Rams offense. I think the defense is good enough. And I agree with you, though, both on the score range. I think I have the Rams about like 36-31. So, but I think that'll be the better of the two matchups, undoubtedly.
And whatever it's going to be, it's me and my buddy who's a Seahawks fan, he's like, man, if the Broncos win, it's just going to be another Super Bowl 48 repeat. And I'm like, it's actually going to be the same thing. It's going to be the exact same score. And then we get either Patriots against Seahawks again, or another Rams-Patriots Super Bowl, which honestly, I don't really want that.
The Patriots have been to the Super Bowl so many times that now if they make it, it's almost guaranteed to be a repeat.
Yeah.
I think the only non-repeat matchup would be Broncos-Rams. Unless that happened before I was born?
No.
I'm going to make sure.
Okay. Sam's going to make sure. Sam's the research and development guy.
Well, because Kurt Warner got there with the Titans when he won that year. And then the next year was against Tom Brady's. Or the next time they got there was against Tom Brady's Patriots.
Yeah, no, they've never played each other.
That would be your first time. And Matt Stafford would be a Super Bowl champion again.
Yeah.
If that was the case.
Love Matt Stafford still. A little tough love.
That's why he chose the Rams.
As soon as he said it, I was like, it's a Stafford thing.
I forgot about that.
If you guys saw some of these throws he was making last week, try to watch it from the end zone angle.
The one throw where he threw like across his body to the opposite sideline over the three, like that's just a Hall of Famer throw.
Yeah. I was against his Hall of Fame candidacy coming into this year. I've fully flipped. I think he's undoubtedly a Hall of Famer at this point.
Doing what he's doing, slinging rock at 37 years old, it's impressive. And like players, and I don't hate to mention him ever, but Tom Brady, people mention like, oh my gosh, like he put the perspective of like, oh, 40's not that old into a lot of people's heads. And you're like, no, that's a pretty old age to be playing football competitively. And that's a very rare thing for sure. For Matt Stafford to still have a lot of competitiveness in him and to still have the agility that he has at his age. He's 37 years old competing for MVP with a quarterback who's been in the league for 2 seasons. And that's just impressive in itself.
You just wanted to mention that Drake May's fighting for it.
You just wanted to mention Tom Brady and Drake May.
Dude. There you go.
I can't believe I didn't mention this. Reece is wearing his I Heart Drake May shirt that he got for Christmas today.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap it up there. We've been going a while. Good first episode back. Happy to be back. Glad to be able to talk ball with you boys again. You got anything to say before we head out?
Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones, Baseball Hall of Fame. As a former center fielder myself, I think it's ludicrous that more relievers have been inducted in the Hall of Fame in the last 65 years than center fielders. I think they made up for it. I think if Beltran never banged the trash can, he'd probably be a first or second ballot. And I have no idea what kept Andrew Jones out for this long.
Yeah,
but I was very, very pleased to see that they made it. I'm
really happy to see Andrew Jones get in. Carlos Beltran,
whatever.
I could take or leave. But Reece, anything? You don't have to if you don't have anything. There's a certain name that I know that is close to the tip of your tongue right now.
You know what? We'll go with something different today. I'll say Chris Hogan.
Chris Hogan. All right. On that note, we'll see you next week for another episode of Sideline Vision.